were pros, steady, reliable, the kind of rangers who could read a ridge line like a book and tell you a storm was coming by the taste of the air. But even they couldn't have imagined a routine workday turning into a mystery that has never been solved. Today, 3 rangers who vanished inside U.S. national parks under impossible circumstances. One stepped off a busy trail in broad daylight and was never seen again. Another disappeared mid-patrol from a river kayak left humming with a live engine. A third parked on a stormy night, left the car running, and walked into darkness as if answering a call only he could hear. What happened to them? And why do these parks keep collecting stories that don't fit the map? Before we start, like and subscribe if you love deep dive mysteries. Let's begin. Case 1. The Skyline Trail, Mount Rainier, Washington, August 1999. Number 1. SEO Octopus. Mount Rainier in August is a postcard. Glowing meadows, glacier air, and trails busy with day hikers and sun hats. The Skyline Trail is one of the park's jewels, a looping path with panoramic views where rangers spend half their time pointing out marmots and reminding people not to step off the boardwalk. That was Ranger Jason Hall's assignment on a clear day around August 12, 1999. Jason was 36, a decade into the park service, calm and capable, a dad of 2 who loved the quiet rules of the backcountry. He knew this western sector of Rainier cold, where the snow lingers, where the bears cross, where a trail can trick you with beautiful visibility and hidden hazards. Hikers saw him all afternoon pausing to give advice, smiling, warning about loose edges. A couple from Texas later remembered watching him stroll, then stop as if thinking something over. He turned off the trail toward a stand of firs and drifted into the trees. They kept walking. Nothing seemed wrong. By evening, Jason hadn't radioed in. The station called. No answer. Rangers swept the skyline after dark, expecting a twisted ankle, a broken radio, a quick rescue. Nothing. At dawn, search and rescue mobilized hard. Clear weather, open meadows, good visibility. If there was ever a place to find a missing person, this was it. Helicopter overflights, grid searches, dog teams. The dogs tracked his scent to the trail's edge and stopped. One dog circled, confused, then returned to the start, like the scent simply ceased. No disturbed earth, no torn fabric, no cry for help overheard on a crowded route. On day 3, the puzzle deepened. 3 miles away, under an old tree, searchers found a small pile. Jason's jacket, water flask, notebook, radio. The items looked oddly neat, almost arranged. The stains on the fabric, animal blood, not human. If it was a cougar or bear attack, you'd expect chaos, human blood, drag marks, something. If it was heat stroke or a fall, a body would turn up. If it was foul play, how in broad daylight with hikers everywhere? Officially, the search wound down after 5 intense days. Unofficially, fans still ask the same questions. How does a person vanish in a place where the horizon is wide open? Case 2. The Quiet River, Tyler State Park, Pennsylvania, May 2025. By spring, Neshaminy Creek runs fast with snow melt. It's not the Grand Canyon of water, but it can surprise you. Swollen banks, snag knots, deceptive currents. Ranger Aleph Campbell, 38, knew those waters from years of patrols. On May 14, 2025, he launched at dawn for a solo sweep, check the banks, note debris, keep the kayakers safe. He was due back by noon. Noon came and went. Visitors reported a bright yellow park kayak upstream, tilted, nose lodged in sand, engine still idling. Rescuers arrived and found a scene so tidy it felt staged. Campbell's life jacket, backpack, radio, food, water still in the boat or set just beside it. No gouges on the hull, no drag marks, no blood, no torn fabric. The motor hummed on, like someone had stepped out for a second and forgot to turn off the key. Boats fanned out, drones with thermal cameras scanned the banks, divers checked log jams. In fast water, debris tells a story, a hat, a shoe, a scrap that surfaces. This river told nothing. Dogs caught a scent near the kayak, then lost it almost immediately. If he fell overboard, how did the boat end up parked with a running engine? If he swam to shore, where were the footprints? If he planned to vanish, why leave everything behind, lined up like a still life? 2 weeks later, with no evidence of foul play, the search was suspended. The official language was dry missing, presumed drowned, but even investigators admitted privately the scene was too clean. Case 3. Headlights in the Storm. Sequoia National Park, California, September 1993. A storm line brushed Sequoia after midnight gusts, quick sheets of rain, lightning on the ridges. Ranger Andrew Holland, 42, was on weather patrol. Check remote roads, look for stranded hikers, keep an eye on washouts. Morning brought an odd report. A Park Service sedan pulled neatly onto a flat shoulder, engine idling, headlights and taillights on, doors locked. Inside maps, a working radio on the dash, personal items untouched. On the front seat, a park map with a hand-drawn line leaving the known road, veering toward an unmarked trail Holland had apparently intended to check. They broke a lock to open the car. No damage, no sign of a sudden stop or crash. Tire tracks showed a smooth pullovers. Why didn't he switch off the lights to save the battery, the ingrained habit of any ranger? Why step into a storm without the radio in hand? Teams traced the penciled route over ridges and through hollows. Rain can erase a footprint, but it doesn't erase everything. Broken fern fronds, a scuff on soil, a snag of fabric. They found none of it. Helicopters skimmed tree lines. Volunteers combed ravines. No struggle, no belongings, no body. Just a running car on a dark road, a map with a line to nowhere, and a ranger who stepped out into weather and never came back. Other unexplained civilian disappearances. It would be comforting to believe professionals only vanish because they push into places the rest of us don't go. But the parks keep a second ledger, a set of civilian cases that won't sit still. Jacob Gray, Olympic National Park, Washington, 20172-018. A 22-year-old on a solo bike trip, well-equipped and mountain tough. Rangers found his bicycle and little trailer neatly parked off the Solduk Road, gear, food, a bow and several arrows, everything in order. No note. No struggle. Searchers flooded the area, ground teams, dogs, helicopters. Nothing. Over a year later, in remote terrain near Lake Crescent, about 15 miles as the crow flies, volunteers found remains later identified as Jacob's. No clear cause of death. The question that won't settle. Why leave all survival gear behind and head into brutal country alone? A backpack without a brother. Yellowstone, 1985. Two brothers, Jonathan and Marcus, set out on an underused route toward a granite ridge. They stop for tuna and bread. Jonathan drops his pack to adjust straps and vanishes. His backpack sits where he left it. The dogs get a weak trail that dies on rock. 2 weeks later, searchers find his canteen perched on an alpine ledge reachable only with ropes. No rope marks, no prints, no body below. How did the canteen get there and where did Jonathan go? The Boy and the Baseball Cap, Shenandoah, 1999. A family picnic by a stream, a kid who loves throwing stones and collecting pine cones. Mom and Dad step onto a nearby trail for a brief walk, leaving their son watched from the clearing. When they return, an empty chair, a small cap that reads "Go Blue," neatly placed. Days of searching turn up nothing, until a week later, a child's shirt is found 2 miles away, mud-stained but bloodless, on a branch along a rarely used track. No footprints, no trail of little steps, just one shirt in the trees. These stories are different shapes of the same odd absence. Neat scenes, missing people, a trail that ends where it shouldn't. The pattern that isn't one. Across these cases, three threads repeat. 1. The tidy scene. Boats with running engines, chairs with neatly placed caps, backpacks and radios set down like inventory. The absence of mess becomes its own clue. 2. The broken trail. Scent dogs that stop on a dime, tracks that end on rock, items discovered in places bodies couldn't easily reach, searches that comb the same ground before a person appears there anyway. 3. The silent window. People vanish into landscapes vast enough to swallow them, leaving investigators nothing but questions and families nothing but hope that fades to memory. Maybe each case has a mundane explanation hidden in the noise, a missed footprint, a submerged body never recovered, a memory bent by fear, but taken together, they whisper the oldest wilderness warning: you are small here, and not everything will make sense. So, what happened to the rangers? Jason Hull steps toward a stand of fur and leaves a perfect trail with a hard stop. Aleph Campbell's kayak hums like a held breath while the river refuses to say what it did with him. Andrew Holland parks like a professional and walks into weather with the lights on and his radio on the dash. If these places keep secrets, they're good at it. Tell me what you think. Is this misadventure disguised by coincidence? Human foul play that left no fingerprints? Or are we brushing the edges of something we don't have the right words for yet? Geology, magnetics, time, perception, all the ways a landscape can trick a nervous system into making the wrong turn. Either way, pack smart. Tell someone your plan. Respect the map, but respect the void more. The mountains and the desert and the swift river don't care how experienced you are. They care what you do next. Like, subscribe, and drop your theory in the comments which case got under your skin. And if you want more, in our next episode we'll look at 3 disappearances with final clues found in impossible places. A flask on a cliff no one could reach, a shirt on a branch with no footprints beneath, and a bicycle waiting patiently by the road while its rider seemed to step out of the world. See you there.